With Bitcoin's price sitting comfortably over 60K, ETF volumes hit an all-time high as institutional FOMO starts to shift into high gear. Could an even bigger wave of buying be on the horizon? CIO of Bitwise seems to think so. And Edward Snowden makes a bold prediction that a nation state is covertly stacking Bitcoin. Is this somehow related to Mr. 100? Plus, with the bull market approaching, we share some data on why you shouldn't altcoin and why there is no second best to Bitcoin. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Thursday, February 29th edition of the Bitcoin Daily Show. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. Here at Swan, we're on a mission to educate the world about Bitcoin. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It'll help us teach more people about Bitcoin here on YouTube and help us to break through the noise. All right, everybody, I have a confession to make. I've been battling the flu all week, and at times, I felt like Michael Jordan in Game 5 during the 1997 finals. Like Pippen holding Jordan up. Thank you to all the people sending encouraging comments, emails to daily@swanbitcoin.com, and most of all, my teammates at Swan for picking me up all this week. There's no way I would miss this bull run and spend it not educating you guys and also spreading the message of hope. So please, keep the emails coming to daily@swanbitcoin.com. I personally answer all these emails, and here at Swan, we have one mission: do what's right for Bitcoin and for Bitcoiners, and we believe that education plays a huge role in that. So if you have questions, send an email, we'll respond. And with that, let's get into our show today. For as much of a hater as Andrew Ross Sorkin is, he can't seem to stop talking about Bitcoin. This morning, he hosted an interview with Bitwise CIO, Matt Hogan, about how this is just the beginning of ETF inflows, and there's another huge surge of demand that's coming online.
When you look at what's been driving this price action on Bitcoin, Matt, how much of this is retail investors investing directly in Bitcoin? How much of it is the ETF? How much of it is institutions in the ETF?
Absolutely. It's a great question. We're seeing enormous demand for the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF and across all of these ETFs. And the answer is it's all of those categories. You're seeing retail investors come into these ETFs. You're seeing hedge funds, you're seeing RIAs or independent financial advisors. I think there's an even bigger wave coming in a few months as we start to see the major wirehouses turn on. But this has been Bitcoin's IPO moment. It's in a new era of price discovery, and I think prices could go substantially higher from here.
He said this is Bitcoin's IPO moment, which brings me to a gripe of all the people that will invest in stocks because they somehow produce cash flows and say that Bitcoin isn't investable because it doesn't produce cash flows. As Michael Saylor says, when you invest into a stock, you're taking on the risk that the management team will make right and good decisions about the long-term future of the company. For all the people that say that you should invest into stocks versus Bitcoin, let's take SaaS, cloud computing darling, Snowflake as a perfect example as to why this may not be the correct thing. When it went public in September of 2020, it was the darling of the SaaS community, showing triple-digit revenue growth and adoption of its data products unlike anything that Wall Street has ever seen. I mean, how could you bet against Frank Slootman, deemed to be the best enterprise SaaS CEO in the world? Well, fast forward 3.5 years, and the stock has returned negative 23% to shareholders. Its stock plummeted 20% yesterday after Frank Slootman, CEO, said that he was stepping down. But look on the bright side. The company turned in its best financial performance year yet with a net income of negative 30%. Take a look at some of these metrics. Revenue's declining, stock-based compensation is at over 40%, and since the company has been public, they have had over negative $2 billion in net income. But you can't invest into Bitcoin because it doesn't produce cash, right? I digress. Let's take a look at an example of another publicly traded company, Coinbase. After the exchange had outages, the stock crashed. But more importantly, users experienced the fear that we've been trying to educate people about here at Swan for years. There were reports of many users seeing $0 balances, or worse, having their Bitcoin trapped on an exchange, with reports of Coinbase freezing withdrawals and not allowing people to sell. If an exchange tries to make it difficult for you to leave and blocks the exits, find a new one. At Swan, 83% of all Bitcoin purchased on our platform is withdrawn to self-custody. We want you to take custody of your coins. Start on your self-custody journey today by using the link swan.com/daily. As we enter a bull market, you're going to start to see more marketing for altcoins from Coinbase and other crypto casinos. You're going to start to see messages about needing to diversify your crypto holdings outside of Bitcoin into other altcoins. Don't overcomplicate things. just buy Bitcoin. Here's some data to back that up. In some analysis done by Sam Callahan, senior research analyst at Swan.com, in the 2013 to 2017 bull market, the average return against Bitcoin for these altcoins was negative 73% during the 2013 to 2017 bull run. And for the ones that did outperform, how's that XRP investment doing now? Is Infinite Coin still even around? Goldcoin? Let's go to the next cycle, 2017 to 2021. The average drawdown for these altcoins against Bitcoin during the 2017 to 2021 run is negative 78.2%. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. And my guess is that this next bull run will yield the same kind of results. And if you needed more reasons to be bullish, yesterday there was 12 times the amount of Bitcoin purchased by the ETFs than were produced by miners. There was a new record for ETF trading volume yesterday, with the trading volume hitting $7.69 billion. The previous record was $4.66 billion. Oh, and just to mention it, inflows had their highest day ever since the ETFs launched at $673 million. And firms like BlackRock, the leading ETF issuer, are starting to launch these products in other countries, like Brazil, as early as next week. Still not bullish enough? Edward Snowden put out a tweet making a bold prediction that a nation state has been covertly buying Bitcoin, which is yet to be revealed. And we've been sharing a little bit about Mr. 100, who we told you has been buying 100 Bitcoin per day since November of 2022. Well, Mr. 100 yesterday bought 1,300 Bitcoin. Today they bought 1,200 Bitcoin. And it's reported from HODL 15 Capital that this buyer is probably in Asia or the Middle East. If Snowden's prediction is true, leave a comment below with which nation state you think is stacking. Bitcoin is smashing through all-time highs in fiat currencies around the globe. You can read that list for yourself, but you get the point. Will Bitcoin's market cap have a higher monthly close than the pound sterling, the world's oldest fiat currency? Bitcoin has somehow become the 5th largest money in the world, and it's done so peacefully, without taxation, wars, violence, or coercion, but peaceful self-interest. Oh, and it's the 9th largest asset in the world. And if you started dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin at the last all-time high from the previous cycle, your stacks would be up 100%. And Merrill Lynch and Wells Fargo are starting to offer Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. All this to say, don't overthink things. Just buy Bitcoin and don't sell it. And definitely don't listen to JP Morgan analysts who said that the price of Bitcoin is going to fall to $42,000 after the halving. I'll leave you with some wise words from Joe Rogan to ponder on if you're not bullish enough on Bitcoin yet.
Imagine if Bitcoin becomes the only money worth anything. And then everybody's like, but I don't have any of it. Well, your money's not worth shit. You got to get new money. You got to get money in Bitcoin.
That's what's going to happen.
And then there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? Like the Bitcoin number is finite. Right. So like maybe there's no Bitcoin for you.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
You just predicted the future, Joe.
And with that, we're signing off for the day. I'm Dante Cook with Swan.com. Happy stacking.